Good morning and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Friday, June 3rd. I'm Nuri Martinez, the President of the City Council. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, Madam President. Blumenfield. Bonin. Absent. Buscaino. Cedillo. Absent. De Leon. Absent. Harris-Dawson. Koretz. Krikorian. Absent. Lee. Martinez. O'Farrell. Price. Rahman. Absent. Rodriguez. Wesson. 10 members and a quorum, Madam President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of June 1st, 2022.
Mr. Price moves and Mr. Lee seconds. Next. Okay, let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, let's move on to public comment. Candido? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
You've filled out a card for general public comment in items 13 through 17.
Let's pass and just go to general public comment.
General public comment, give them as 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. It was disturbing this week. I went to Kaiser Hospital and I saw this Jewish woman with her 2 kids. And I started to talk to her and I asked her why she was there. And her kids were there for anxiety, that their children were so afraid to go to school, that the things that were happening in school, the fear that, with Texas and all these other shootings, but mostly it was the homeless. If a child's afraid of it, so can an adult. And those of you who think you have to do more, listen, don't interrupt me and I won't interrupt you, okay?
Mr. Surjanko and people, please be quiet.
Hold my time, please.
Hold his time.
Yes. So please let the speaker speak uninterrupted, okay? Please be quiet. It's your first, last, and only warning. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I can't believe you and I are agreeing. But again, for those of you who think that we need to do more studies and we need to try to find answers, these kids are suffering, and we need to do more about that. Lastly, I don't know if you noticed, but Dodge and Acura are doing less of their commercials where they're spinning and destroying our city. So hopefully some of you have sent a message. Hopefully I send a message. But we cannot allow the destruction of our city, especially when you're destroying our intersections, etc. It's no worse than, it's as bad as doing graffiti on some of our buildings and stuff. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnold Sachs?
16 and 17, and then we'll go into general afterwards.
Okay, good morning, Arnold Sachs. Good morning, you criminals.
Please begin, Mr. Sachs.
So, you actually have a perfect 20 today. 20 items on your agenda, 20 items with no community input. And I'm still trying to figure out why there has never been any community input on any of these items. I think the people in the communities ought to be able to speak up on some of these items. And these assessments for these lighting districts, some of them are so outrageous, people don't get any notice about any of these things. And it's kind of tough if you don't get a notice about a hearing to be able to attend. Number 1, it says something about LA kids for parks. And I'm trying to figure out why this item has money dedicated to parks when you have a county proposition that was passed about 4 years ago that's supposed to supply money for parks, and it's assessed on almost 1 million items, 1 million parcels in the city of Los Angeles. So where exactly is that money going? It doesn't seem to be. There's a lot of parks around, and whatever parks there are, they're filled with homeless people. And I'm trying to figure out why you don't impose I just was watching TV a couple of nights ago, and there was an ad on TV about LA Care. And that's one of the most important items in companies in LA because it deals with a corporation that had a contract with the County Department of Health Services. And they signed up over 15,000 people for the Affordable Care Act. And there's an item on the county agenda, A8, refers to Mark Ridley Thomas wanting to do away with the Affordable Care Act. And how can he do that? It's his puppy. And he said no to his own project. And they signed up 15,000 people. And they took that goddamn money and they built that goddamn stadium in Las Vegas. And I was at this meeting in Los Angeles County SCAG meeting for southern section. And I said something about that, and there was a lot of people who came up to me and said, I should continue going on about Mark Ridley Thomas, because it turns out he's the #1 drug distributor in LA.
So we're going to reset your clock.
Oh, thank you. So, again, I say, if you go across the street and you look at Grand Park, they're celebrating 10 years anniversary of Grand Park. But Grand Park actually opened up in 1966. So that 10-year anniversary deals with the passage of the Grand Park building, the project they want to do at Grand Park. And that building they're doing at the corner of Grand Avenue and First Street involves a lot of money that should be going to other projects. And it's just the stuff that goes on between the county and the city and the state and Metro. And the 4 levels of government is one too many. And I think they should have considered Jessica Law for mayor. I think she'd be a great candidate. First of all, she's a woman, and she's been involved in a lot of stuff that involves downtown and how shitty it is around downtown.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Your time is up. Dr. K.R. Truthbay, you've signed up for general public comment in item 11 and 12.
And we're actually opening public comment on 11 and 12. So you have 2 minutes for the items, and if you wish, a minute for general as well. So we'll set the clock for 2 minutes, and when it buzzes, you can keep going if you want.
Thank you.
Another minute.
The EHV vouchers were given a couple of months ago. 3,365 vouchers specifically to Los Angeles City, 1,955 vouchers for Los Angeles County. Only 117 of them were actually given. We ask that the city encourages Mario Ceballos and Belinda Allen, these two that were elected for the Housing Committee, for their impact statement to reflect the pushing of these EHV vouchers that have been in limbo. We have about 2,000 families in CD8 alone that have been registered for permanent housing, and they were denied. So we're asking that the city step in to have HACLA accountable for the 3,000 vouchers that are still in the queue that are funded. We also ask that the city also send a letter of recommendation to LAHSA to use the $570 million HAP 3 funding specifically for these vouchers for those who are verified homeless. They do not want to sleep in their cars any longer. Many of the families are in safe parking through HOPIX, and this program is not working. There's plenty of funding and plenty of buildings that are available, such as 515 South Crocker in Skid Row. So Kevin De Leon, we request that that building to be used for an emergency shelter since the Union Rescue, Midnight Mission, and Los Angeles Mission are filled up, understaffed. The homeless population really needs support, and they really need funding. So please, these recommendations that the grassroots organization have been submitted to you, please fund them so that way we can alleviate the homeless crisis. Okay. This year, let's do it a different way this time. Actually listen to the constituents, fund the requests that are submitted through the RFPs and discretionary funding so that way we can keep our safe streets. Therefore, there's no cameras, no police, so what are we to do? Democrats, let's do better.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Dr. Truth.
I also have some documents that I wanted to give to the
Can you hand them to the sergeant, please, and he'll make sure that we get them. Thank you. Next, any other adjourning motions? Seeing no other adjourning motions, our meeting is adjourned.